that you are creating your world. So if you're in that space where you're at that fork in the road and you are needing to reassess the situation, my God, that's a blessing, to be able to rethink. And now you get to be the decider. And for all my American Dad fans, there you go. You get to be the decider. Instead of having things, quote unquote, happening to you, you are now taking the bull by the horns, so to speak, and saying, no, this time I'm going to decide what's going to happen. If something bad's going to happen to me, I'm going to take full responsibility and realize that this was my own creation. And I think people forget that. And many people don't even consciously know that, because you get so bogged down by jobs and kids and although there's nothing wrong with kids, I do love kids, but there is a lot of mental and emotional space that takes up, jobs and kids and relationships and things falling apart, whether it be relationships or your dishwasher, and these things can get in the way of us reassessing our lives. And we can get so bogged down. And for the last little while, that's where I've been so bogged down by just the everyday happenings of life. And now I'm at that point. Let's choose something. What are my goals? A really great book is Shakti Gawain's Creative Visualization. And for anybody, and actually anything by Shakti is amazing, but for anybody who hasn't looked into any of Shakti's work, Creative Visualization is probably the first book I would recommend to absolutely everybody. Whether you've been on a spiritual journey for, most of your life, or whether you're just starting, or whether you're in the middle of it, it doesn't matter. It's a really amazing book. And it helps with this exact problem in learning how to reassess your life. And that's what's really amazing about it. She really puts the suggestion into you to write lists. And although, my sister especially has this great habit of writing lists and then not following what's on the list. But I think there is something very therapeutic in writing the list to begin with. And I think that it's a really beautiful process. And if we actually just write down the list, and I started this last night, and she suggests on, multiple numbers of papers, on one piece of paper, you write down on the top world and environment. On the next piece of paper, you write down relationships. On the next one, you write down money. On the next one, you write down spiritual growth or education, that kind of thing. And it continues on. And on each one of those pages, you write down, based under that heading, what it is you would like to see, quote unquote, happen, really what you would like to create for your life. Examples would be, what I wrote, something that I wrote down for work and career. Finish my 3rd album, finish my book, finish this, finish that. I have so many creative projects on the go that I think this is one thing that I get kept in a standstill is because I have, 10 projects, 10 creative projects, and each one of them would take a sufficient amount of my energy and my time. So because there are so many, I don't even do one, and all of them it's not that they're in a state of disarray. It's just that they're in a state of beginning, it's kind of, they're at their beginning stages, and I need to focus on one and get it out of the way. Focus on another one, get it out of the way, and not get it out of the way like, oh my God, I can't wait for this to be over, but really sit in the experience, really be in the experience and be present in that experience, because I would like to say there's nothing greater than creative expression, and there's nothing greater than actually sitting down and creating something that is 100% you. Whether it's a drawing, whether it's an invention, whether it's, a song, a book, a story, a poem, whatever, absolutely whatever. Take a bunch of pipe cleaners and hot glue and, I don't know, make a clown out of them or something. Like, whatever makes you feel good. That's the whole point. Collect leaves outside or twigs outside and make God's eyes out of them. Or, rip apart old t-shirts and make your own weird, knitting wool out of the, t-shirt strips or something and knit something. Like, the amazing thing is that we are these creative beings. Yes, there's nefarious stuff happening. I will never ever question that there's nefarious stuff going on in the world. Did we create it? I would say so. But on the other hand, we need to create what's positive. So if we stop focusing so much on the nefariousness, which so many of us, whether you are at the beginning of your mega awakenings or you have been mega awakened for a very long time, or maybe you're in the middle, or maybe you're not even there yet. Maybe you're not even at the beginning. Doesn't matter what degree of awakening you're at, because we are still creating absolutely everything that's around us. And why not focus on those things that make us feel amazing, absolutely amazing to be alive, those things that instill inspiration and hope and happiness and well-being. And I think that's a real big one, because look at the amount of people who get sick. Most of our sicknesses come from stress, and if we weren't stressed, or if we at least had an outlet for our stress that wasn't sitting and watching TV and drinking beer, and I'm not judging, but I'm saying that's obviously not healthy. What is spiritually healthier and creatively healthier is to do something creative, is, the creative play that keeps us children, and we lose so much of this, like society says, when we are a certain age, we are an adult. When we are a certain age, we are meant to do this, a laundry list of things, get a job, get married, have children, all this traditional stuff that people who buy into the system wholeheartedly go after. And maybe some of them enjoy that, and that's fine. But that's not for me. It can't be for me, because that's never been me, and maybe that's never been you. And that's one of the many points for having this discussion, however one-sided it might be. And I welcome all comments as long as they're constructive and, all thoughts and ideas. And I would love to hear your own experiences with being at the crossroads, with being at the place where you get to be the decider of your own life, where you get to decide where you're going from now. Am I going to move to this brand new place, or am I going to stay here? Am I going to start this brand new career or business, or am I going to continue with the one that I have? Am I going to stay in this current relationship, or am I going to end it or start a brand new one? There are so many different choices that we have day to day, and why not make them positive, creative, playful, joyous? We can enjoy life. And I'm not saying that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 or 366, as the case may be, days a year, I am enjoying absolutely every single moment. I have my moments where I'm so not in the moment, where all of a sudden I am so back 10 years ago, and I'm thinking about all the crappy stuff that happened 10 years ago, or I'm 10 years from now and I'm thinking about all the possibilities, or, all the horrible things that could happen. And I think about that less, to be honest, all the horrible stuff. But, if we can get in the present moment as much as humanly and heavenly possible, I think we would really see a great change, and not just in the world, but almost more importantly at home and within ourselves. Because if you can't find happiness within yourself, if you can't find the joy and the light and the love, and you can't find the expression and the crazy goofy creativity, then how are you going to bring that to other people? It's like that old saying that you need to love yourself before you can love somebody else. You need to enjoy your life before you can help others enjoy theirs. I kind of liken life in a way to what they tell you on an airplane. And, about the oxygen mask, when the oxygen mask drops, secure your own mask before securing the mask of a child or someone who is infirm or whatever, or who can't do it for themselves. And I liken life to this. Because if you're not happy, if you're not finding your own personal, crazy, goofy, creative play and your own beautiful joy, then you can't give this to anybody else. And sometimes it's the tiny little things, obviously, that propel people to inspiration, that propel people to, oh my God, I need to write again. I need to sing again. I need to draw again. I need to build again. Sometimes it really doesn't take much to propel someone, because I think we are always kind of on that precipice where we are waiting to be inspired. And therefore, inspiration comes to us quickly when someone kind of gives us a little nudge. It's kind of like when you're walking down the street and you give little smiles to people, and it's amazing how many people do smile back. And then you have to, as you're walking along after you've smiled at someone and they've smiled back, you question yourself, I wonder if that person is going to smile at somebody else. And that person's going to smile. And then that person is going to smile at someone else. And that person is going to smile. And how long is my smile, my little tiny piece of inspiration, my little tiny piece of love for another person, how far is that actually going? Is there someone in Taipei right now? Obviously far away from my Ontario, Canada. Is there someone in Taipei right now that's receiving my smile, is receiving a smile from a long list of smiles that I created? When you think of it that way, you realize